All right. Good evening and welcome to the Monday, June 24th Administration and Public Works. My name is Alden Braithwaite and we have a quorum. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the June 10th, 2019 meeting?
Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights for further discussion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion moves forward. Next, we have public comment. Has everyone signed up? We only have one speaker. Mr. Clyde, you want to join us? Mind keeping track? I mean, we just have one person. Not that big of a deal. Good evening.
Good evening. Item A12 regarding the library parking lot appears to be a housekeeping issue since the contract officially expired June 12, 2019. What's important in the description in the packet, which is located on page 135, is, quote, staff seeks direction from City Council on potential future development efforts for the property, unquote. It is important for the City Council to hear what the public wants to have happen with the library parking lot. It should be clear to the members of council that our input is vital for the success of any plans for that city-owned property. This is not limited to the First Ward, but to all Evanstonians. I believe there should be a public meeting chaired by someone other than Alderwoman Fisk, who has ignored her own constituents over the past 3+ years regarding the library parking lot. Guidance from the public should be the first step in reconsidering the use of the library parking lot. This should take the form of a public meeting chaired by the city staff, perhaps by Johanna Leonard. An outgrowth of the public meeting should be a special panel comprised of community members with special knowledge of urban planning, zoning, the downtown plan, site characteristics including those of its historic neighbors, Evanston Public Library needs, along with city staff. And on a completely different topic, item A5, I want to publicly thank City Manager Bobkowitz for taking into consideration my email about Union Metal, the sole provider of the Talmadge lamps. It is encouraging to see a dialogue between the city and its residents. I hope that by holding this item, Public Works staff will be able to give a more thorough report to City Council. It would be great if the City of Evanston could purchase the original molds for the Talmadge poles. And another comment, just like with photocopies, every copy made from a copy degrades the quality, so it would be best to have the original molds for the lamps. Thank you.
All right. I have a few items to remove off the consent agenda, item A3 and A6. Is there anything else? Okay. I'm sorry, say it again. Yeah, that's going to come off. All right. There are some emails floating back and forth. So item A1, starting with A1, payroll May 27, 2019 to June 9th in the dollar amount of $2,841,400.11. Bills list, June 25th in the dollar amount of $2,831,992.69. We're coming back to A3. A4 is the agreement with Azazar. It's the auditing solutions for the sales of the utility tax revenue audits. And then A7 is the resolution 61R-19 updating the investment policy. Staff is recommending that City Council adopt that, updating the investment policy related to the allowed investment products. A8 is resolution 62-R-19 approving the settlement of Lindstrom versus the City of Evanston. And then the A9 is resolution 63-R19 approving the settlement of R.J. O'Neill, Inc. versus the City of Evanston.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Back to item A3, the agreement of Sam Goss and Associates to provide services for the handyman program. I'm trying, give me one quick second, just a quick edit for staff. So within the context of the body of the resolution, at the top of the page, we understand that he is a contractor performing services, but beginning on page 70 and throughout the contract, he's listed as a consultant. So I think that's just a minor edit, and this is for action. So if I can have a motion to,
Move. Second.
it's been properly moved and seconded to make the correction throughout the document to move from consultant to contractor. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect. So now if we can have a vote on the actual amendment, the agreement with Sam Goss and Associates to provide the services for the handyman services in the, looks like the budget of $20,000. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then the next one is A6, which is a sole source renewal for Dell Pro support. Luke, just one quick question. It's a small dollar amount, and I'm just trying to figure out what was the purpose of the renewal fee? It's on page 104. Maybe I missed that I was reading it, and it's like, they're charging us to put our servers back in place?
Oh, are you talking about the reinstatement fee?
The reinstatement.
So we had two servers that had, the service has lapsed, so those are just reinstatement fees to get those servers back in good standing with the support agreement.
Isn't that what we're paying for, though? It's part of the whole package.
Yeah, sometimes if you, in this kind of a scenario where if service lapsed and you had a gap in service, you pay a reinstatement fee to get back in good graces. So there's two servers, I think it was $199 each to get back in full support renewal.
All right. Seeing no further, I know it seems,
It's so punitive.
Yeah.
I mean, how long have we been with Dell? How many
A long time, yeah.
millions of dollars do we pay them? It's just so petty.
Yeah.
do you ever think to ask? I mean, I feel like my father taught me a long time ago, everything's negotiable.
We
I
do
mean,
that, yeah, we do that constantly. We're
You
constantly.
need to hold it up and just say, this isn't going to be approved until, just to prove a point, like, just ask them to waive it. I mean,
Yeah,
we won't
and-
hold it up, but
And the pricing that we use here is, there's a contract, approval process that we go through here, so it's a state contract that we're leveraging for pricing, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're always
Ask 'em.
negotiating stuff, yeah.
let us know how that works out.
Constantly. Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
Pound your fist on the table or something. Thank you. So let's go ahead and vote on that, item A6.
What is the motion on A6 then?
So we're not holding it, just making a point. And so I'm going to call for the vote now. Right.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Items for consideration, starting with Alderman Fleming.
Are we doing A5?
Yeah. I think it's
Thought it
in-
was removed.
Well, I had some
Yeah.
questions that I wanted to ask.
We're still going to discuss, okay.
Yeah.
A5 is contracted award for Spring City Electrical Manufacturing for Talmadge Street light poles and fixtures. The staff has recommended council authorize city manager to execute a contract with Spring City Electrical Manufacturing to cast a mold for the Talmadge Street light pole and supply a sample pole and luminary fixture in the amount of $79,000. This is for action.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded, and I know you're going to tell us why, but go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, good evening. I would ask that we lay this over for 2 weeks. Some issues have been raised we would like to look into, and so we believe we can answer those questions in the next 2 weeks. And come back.
Perfect. And when you come back in 2 weeks, Mr. Manager, I'm curious to a couple of things, to know what the final numbers were for each vendor.
Certainly.
Given the fact that we have one local vendor, and then an explanation to the scoring.
Certainly.
meaning I think the one that stood out for me is the completeness of the proposal.
Very good.
Thank you, sir. All right. I think we need a motion to hold then.
I move we hold item A5.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Item is held over to the next meeting. Alderman Rainey, item A10, please.
Let me turn this on. This is ordinance 62019, administrative fee for building permit cancellations. Staff is recommending the adoption of this ordinance, which amends portions of another ordinance, 136018, permit fee schedule to assess a cancellation fee to all building permit cancellations, resulting in a refund request. Cancellation fee will be $25 for permits issued with a permit fee of $150 or less, and $50 for permits issued with a permit fee greater than $150. This is for introduction. Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights, all those in favor of passing item
Question.
A10? Oh,
Maybe they're not working. Are the lights working?
I don't see it. Hold on one second. Yeah, the lights aren't working.
Raise your
I
hand.
have a question.
just raise
That's
your
okay.
hand.
I guess this is Ms. Leonard. I have a question. Just real quick, can you give me an idea? Is this something that's happening a lot? Do people cancel their permit fees a lot? And then kind of what are the reasons why that's happening?
Good evening, Johanna Leonard, Community Development Director. It happens a handful of times a month, more frequently in the construction season, which is now. Somebody wants to do a roof, the contractor, often it's a contractor, pulls a permit, moves forward with the project, work is discovered, so maybe something's extra, maybe they aren't prepared to spend the money that's involved, so they postpone the work or they cancel it. So then a contractor or the homeowner or the property owner come and seek a refund. So there's a refund of money. There's a form we fill out. Then we go field verify to make sure that the work was not completed. So there's an inspector that goes out to visit that, and then a series of paperwork to do that. So I'd say probably right now, probably 5 times a month we see that kind of activity. Maybe when it's not so busy, a couple times a month.
And then just to educate me about how much work does it take on average to pull the permit, for you all to issue the permit?
Well, it depends on the type of permit. Generally, these are ones that don't involve plan review. So that would be a staff member reviewing it and spending probably a little bit more time on it than say a roofing permit, which is an over-the-counter permit, or small electric, adding a circuit to your home. Those are just, you fill out some worksheets, we collect it, we create a record, a permit record, and then there's that creates a record which then we monitor and track to make sure work gets done over the course of time. So this helps us cancel that out and then go back and cancel. But then there is probably more work on the cancellation than there is to actually issue the permit, because, like I said, we fill out this paperwork, it's signed by the building manager, then it's signed by me, and then it goes through the process of being uploaded into New World, and then there's a check issued, and so there's a lot of process, probably far more than $50 or $25, but there's probably more work on the reissuing of the refund than there is actually in issuing the permit.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Seeing no further lights, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Sufferton, item A11, please.
I move item A11, ordinance 61019, amending portions of the city code regarding the city of Evanston's occupation of public way permit fee schedule. Staff recommends adoption of ordinance 61019, amending portions of a city code chapter 2, streets, sidewalks, and public ways to assess a cancellation fee to all occupation of public way permit cancellations, resulting in a refund request. Occupation of public way permit types are right-of-way, sidewalk, cafe, moving vehicle parking, and storage container. Cancellation fee will be $25 for permits issued with a permit fee of $150 or less, and $50 for permits issued with a permit fee greater than $150. Funding will be provided from fee revenue to Public Works Agency occupation of public way permits account for introduction.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any items for discussion? Seeing,
I'm sorry.
Alderman Sufferton.
So at the start of the meeting, I got an email from a constituent about the notice of violations that we put out, kind of unsolicited, for things like overgrown weeds or
That came
not.
to all of us or just you?
It came to me, but I'd be happy to share it, or not having your address on your garage. And
Yeah.
those are very unpopular, and I was hoping that maybe we could have a discussion at a future meeting about other ways that we could notify residents of our hope that they will comply.
So what exactly is the complaint? For example, the reason that we put addresses on the back of the garages is just for our firemen to find houses and for neighbors to be able to identify if they see a fire from across the alley. And then you're always given, like, what is it, Alderman Rainey, 15, 30-day to correct the issue?
10 days is what it is.
Is it 10?
Perhaps we could word it more collegially or come up with another way to do it. I have noticed in my time on the city council that there are very few residents who say, thank you for letting me know about this, and I appreciate it. Good to see that my tax dollars are being used in this manner. So
Sure.
perhaps as a customer service discussion, we could talk about this at a future meeting about ways that we can encourage in compliance in a more constituent-friendly manner.
Yes, yes, we'll take that under consideration. Any other items for discussion? Any communications? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. So for those of you just arriving, the Planning and Development Committee meeting has been noticed and will start promptly at 6:45. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.